Welcome back, everybody, to the weekend show where I'll be breaking down the big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. And now, let's get right into the market. All right, so welcome back once again, guys, on this weekend show, and let's talk about the market. Extremely bullish last week. We had a massive run. Everything except Nasdaq went to all-time highs. And when you look at the market, Dow was up 0.28% on Friday. We got Nasdaq going up 1.30%, S&P up 0.62%, Russell going up over 1%, advancing 58.8. So that tells you the market breadth was really good, advancing almost 60% of the stocks. Now, when you look at the 11 sectors, you can see right here, except energy, everything was pretty much green. Basic materials led the way on Friday. Industrials, consumer cyclical, technology, healthcare, real estate, utilities, consumer defensive, even financial, and then communication services and energy. That is due to Meta and Google going down here, and energy was going up 2 weeks ago. So I just gave back some of those gains. Week to date performance, basic materials outperforming here. You can see it's up almost 9%, technology almost 7%. So massive gains. Maybe we see some rotation out of these names and possibly into some of the defensive name once again going into this week. Stock market map on Friday. Nvidia once again shining up 2.27%. Microsoft going up but then gave back. It's really overextended. Apple was also in the green. Some of these names like Oracle, Dell, Palantir just exploded on Friday. CRM, now Uber, like these software names are going up like crazy now. And you can see who's taking the back seat. Well, SNDK, WDC, STX, names like these, even AMD. Google was down 1% almost. Broadcom up 1.71%. AMU was pretty flat on the day. Tesla up 2.83%. Amazon was also up 0.81%. But a lot of the pockets here you can see actually are red on your screen. And then we have some of the names from energy sectors. They were also red for the day. We got some data next week, guys, and this is going to make or break the market. And why? Because we have CPI come Wednesday morning, and I'm pretty sure everybody's watching this. Do we see some sort of a rate hike, or we just stay where we are? We got PPI also on Thursday. Retail sales number, Michigan consumer sentiment. But I think this is going to be the final nail in the coffin if this comes out hot. But keep that in mind. In July, energy went up. Gas prices, they were up huge. So I don't know what the number is going to be, but I'm definitely not expecting anything lower. This should be hot unless it's really cooked up. Fear and greed index 64. So we're back on greed. Market sentiment 37% bullish, 38% bearish, so 50-50 pretty much there. And then 25% are neutral here on this market. On Microsoft, it was pretty flat on Friday, but intraday it was up to 505, gave back those gains, and pretty much closing at 500. Now, people that are actually following this channel and subscribe to it, they know exactly what I've been saying here on Microsoft, that one opportunity, just one good news, and that was the earnings, and this thing can pop back up to 500. We made a lot of money, over 100% on this play. And Friday, I sold all my shares, not the long term, but long term swing trade. All the shares got all out from this play. And there is plenty of money that I made on Microsoft. And now you can see I'm expecting a pullback. So, what that would look like here on Microsoft, I would say, if this thing can come back, retest, maybe fill this gap. I'm not talking about, I don't think this gap is going to get filled anytime soon, but possibility of a pullback here is definitely on the card, and it can unfold anytime. So watch if this thing, stays under 500, maybe gets into the 5-day moving average, 494, gets underneath that, you will see a quick flush down to 478 and maybe down to this gap, and that would be your dip buying opportunity if you're looking to go long here on Microsoft. I think there's plenty of upside left here on the stock, but as of right now, if you're just chasing pretty much at the top, that is going to be a bad location for you to buy. So no buy zone. If it goes higher like this, let it go, just ignore it. This thing is not even on my radar anymore unless we get a decent pullback that will open up opportunities for this thing to maybe flag on the daily and then push this run even higher, possibly into all-time highs, which is not too far, guys. On Apple stock, it's up 0.29%, so pretty flat day, and both days, Thursday and Friday, pretty flat. And this one, I think, right here, if you're looking for support, a key zone, 50 SMA here at 310, so 309, 310 must hold here for continuation. And I think it will run. Even if it comes down a little bit more, nothing but opportunity. So if this thing comes back, maybe 303, watch for that support to flat 300. This thing breaks over 317. These highs right here, it will run into this gap, and that is a massive gap. I mean, there's plenty of upside to make money here, but I just hate shorting Apple. I don't see why anyone would go and short this. This is nothing but an opportunity. So watch these levels. Key level to hold 310. Underneath that opens the door for possibly a retest of these lows. To the upside, you can see last week we got close to 317, not quite there. If we can break above that and hold, this thing will fill this gap, and that is a pretty big move. I mean, $10-15 on Apple to the upside, not to mention this gap here on top as well. We can definitely go back up and fill these gaps, and that would be a nice juicy move, especially people that are looking to long Apple here. All right, so just a quick reminder to you guys, if you are really into the stock market, if you're really serious about trading, you want to get these types of trade ideas like this one on gold, GDX. You can see this thing exploded on Friday, not to mention we were already green on display. Then we got SpaceX. What happened on Friday? Massive rally, the calls when in the money. So if you're really into trading, you want to get these types of trade ideas, definitely head over to Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description for you guys. On Meta, it's up 0.37%. So Meta already had a monster move. And yes, this kind of looks like a flag. Hourly would be more clear, but keep that in mind. Under 600, don't get overly bullish. If this thing can actually hold right here, which if you look at my screen, holding 590, 5-day moving average on your screen, underneath that opens the door for a quick move down to possibly this gap, 558. And I'm telling you, if it gets down here, somehow we get a sell off next week, definitely buying this thing all over again over 600 over the 50 SMA. Watch out for a move back up to 615 and then 624 gap fill here on Meta. On AMD, it's down 1.21%. So some of the money actually getting out of these names, and this also have this rounding top. You can see, you can call this head and shoulder, left shoulder, head, right shoulder forming. But you know how these things work. Never play out what happened with SMH, right? Head and shoulder pattern. Did we actually go down all the way? Nope. It came back. So AMD here, we still have business here to fill the gap at 502. If this thing only takes out this low, then I would get really bearish where AMD can come down and fill this gap 359. But as of right now, guys, watch this 5-day moving average 491.58. If we can get over that, it's going to fill the gap right here near 503, and over that, it's going to look much more bullish. Key support zone to watch below this 5-day moving average 470, and then it's going to fall all the way down to easily 430s, 420s, just like it did before. On Google, stock is down 0.88%. So Google had this massive monster move, and now you're pulling back on low volumes. Technically, that's a bullish pattern like this thing. As long as this thing does not come down and fill all these gaps that left behind, I think this is a decent pullback. As long as we're over like 350, 351 over this 20 SMA, this thing can push back up to the upside. And we all know, I mean, just in recent times, look at this massive monster move. You thought like earnings were not good and this is just gonna go down and crash. Boy, oh boy, look at that move it actually made. 314 to What was the high here? 382. So massive monster move. And just because these things are just coming down like big names here, I mean, look at the market cap, guys. This is not some small, tiny company like PayPal or, look at the market cap. This is enormous. $4.32 trillion market cap. And you think this is just going to go down and crash and nobody's going to buy it? Absolutely not. So, nothing but another opportunity, just like Apple. But we need to hold these key support zone right here, 350, 342, 44. But if it does come down with the market, let's say we get some sort of a big selling, it will come down and fill the gap 335. To the upside, needs to get over 360, 364 would be the next key zone, and then after the races all the way back up to 374.62 and even into 380s. On Tesla stock, it's up 2.83%. So here's another one that I'm actually in. Took some profit on Friday, but look at this, guys. I mean, 331 right here, got a rejection, came back just slightly under. If this thing actually, I mean, if you look at it hourly, this is, or even daily, this is a cup and handle, and we're about to break that 330, 331. If that breaks, this gap comes into play, which is massive, 372.9. So Tesla here, that's why after a big sell-off, we bought into this, sell-off, and now it's finally paying. So Tesla, watch this key resistance zone. If it can break over that, easily 343, and over that, maybe even 362. But this is gonna be a key zone to watch right here because this high and the 20 SMA is right there, 343. To the downside, if this thing cannot break and takes out this low from Thursday, 315, game over, and this thing will be coming back all the way back down to 300 once again. All right, so on Nvidia stock, it's up 2.27%, another monster move, and this is the king of the stock market. You can see $5.42 trillion market cap. This is a monster of a stock, guys. And if this thing pulls back, nothing but an opportunity, but there are none right now. So this key resistance zone right at about 224, 225, you can see rejection there before. If that breaks, we can easily go and retest all-time highs. Now, what I would like to see as a bull here on Nvidia, yes, the move is very strong. If it comes back in, maybe flags here, not even fill the gap all the way, just spend some time here before earnings, and then we see the breakout into the earnings or after, that would be fantastic. But, am I going to get that? I don't know. So Nvidia, watch if this thing can hold and get over 225, it will press higher. If it comes back in, watch for the support 220 and then 217 underneath that, fill the gap, and this would be a nice back test. Fill the gap, come all the way down, and you can see resistant, 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 and that would act as a support now right here, right about 212, 213, and it will also fill the gap. On Amazon stock, it's up 0.83%. So Jeff Bezos was selling in that pressure. We saw some selling here, but overall, it's just flagging here. After hitting all-time highs, just backing off. I think if this thing breaks over 287, it's definitely due for 300, and it's gonna get there because these big names, you cannot count them out. You can just say, "Oh, this is trash. It's not moving." Just like what happened. A lot of people gave up on Microsoft. Not us, not myself, and I said it, and I stand behind my words that Microsoft, give it time. If you're thinking outside the box, it's gonna happen. What happened? Well, 500 came so fast, and we might be going for all-time highs very soon. Just like Amazon here, this thing was coming down here, and this is it. It's just gonna go down and burn, and go down to zero. What happened? Boom! Massive earnings beat, and look at the pop. Now, yes, he was selling into earnings, which a lot of the CEOs, a lot of the owners and employees, they sell shares. It does not mean that stock will just burn and go down to zero. So this was an opportunity. If you took it, you took it. If not, now it's holding that 274, 275 roughly there. If we can stay over that, definitely watch for a break back up to all-time highs again. If it comes back in, watch for the support right down here, 264.69. Underneath that, maybe even retest a 258.65. These highs right here, that will act as a support as well. But as of right now, it just looks really bullish. On SpaceX, it's up 16%. So you guys saw that play we took and still holding shares, still holding my calls. I did not sell out of all my position. Just sold partial position here on SpaceX, and If you guys are following, you know that we've been tracking this thing, and I said when it got to close to 100, I said that thing outside the box, and I think it's a really good price. But this is not something you're gonna get paid immediately. But it's also not that late. This is pretty fast. I mean, this thing, my calls 130 went in the money on Friday. And there could be even more because if you look at it, guys, let's say it just rally off with these lows, we can easily come back and retest like 146, 147 previous lows. That would be a lot more upside. That is a huge upside still left here. But if you're not in and just looking to get in, I would not be chasing this. Let's see if it pulls back a little bit in, maybe around 119, 120, somewhere there. A lot of consolidation here before we had that break. Maybe come back and retest. That would be an opportunity. But if this thing runs and gets over 134, we can definitely get to like 147, 146 here on SpaceX. All right, so just a quick reminder, guys, and I mean, this is not something that you gotta go over and over, but likes are what YouTube actually looks at, algorithm, right? So that's why I'm not putting out a bunch of videos, because if you guys show the support and if you just hit that like button, more people will be able to see this video, and that way YouTube algorithm will catch it, it will show it to more people. But when there are like people watching not hitting the subscribe button, not hitting the like button, it just you know puts me off, where I don't want to make too many videos, and that's why the videos are coming less. Also, and not to mention that I'm taking some time off, spending time with my family, my kids, and that's why you're not seeing a lot of videos. But that can change very quickly. Winter is coming, and especially like I said, you gotta show that you do support these videos, you do want to see these videos come out regularly, because a lot of the time I even talk about my positions, what I take, what I don't take in the stock market. So a lot of you guys get these ideas, and some people in the comment section, when I see that, hey, I saw this video and I went long on Microsoft or Nvidia or something, and I made so much from this trade, but it was my own trade, but only the video helped. And that's why I make these videos. So I would really appreciate, taking 4 hours and not getting a dime out of YouTube. These videos are worthless because YouTube does not pay me, and I'm not no Mr. Beast who's making these videos for YouTube money or advertisement. You guys possibly saw, I'm not even running any promo or anything here with other companies. So the only way you can appreciate these videos, and more will come out, by hitting the like button. So please do so. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching.